From the cursed crypts of late-night lobbies and the flaming wreckage of chaotic conversations, they rise again louder, weirder, and undeniably fueled by ADHD energy drinks and a long trail of bad decisions. Welcome back to the Undead Family Podcast. A group of longtime friends who've been gaming, screaming, and wildly scheming together for years, and now they're dragging listeners right back into their whirlwind of digital chaos. Buckle up, it's weird in here.
I'm Ducky.
I'm Goblin.
I'm Reaper.
And I'm Hank.
New topics, old grudges, wild stories, silly rules, and way too much yelling. They are back and just as unhinged, unfiltered, and unnecessarily crazy as ever. Brace yourself for surprise, side-switching, wildly inconsistent discussions, recurring inside jokes, and the occasional mid-episode chaos. Chaos reigns, nobody is safe. Subscribe now and you'll never be bored.
Ducky, you look so happy right now.
Sorry, I'll smile. RBF. What can I say?
I just learned something really interesting.
What did you learn?
So, I was telling my mom because I'm going to New York next weekend. I was talking to her about it, and she was telling me that in December of 2000, her and my dad spent 24 hours in New York. They went a lot of places. The one place they didn't go was the Twin Towers. They were walking out of I guess there's some huge toy store or something there. They were walking out of, and there was a street vendor selling these aerial photos.
Close your stream.
F.A.O. Schwartz.
I want you guys to see this real quick. That is Denny Hamlin toilet paper.
Jesus.
Oh, you can get it on Etsy.
But anyways, they walked out of a toy store, and there's a street vendor selling like aerial shots of Manhattan, like big blown up aerial shots. Ducky, you might have seen this photo because it is in my dad's house. He still has it to this day. But it is an aerial shot of Manhattan with the Twin Towers centered in the picture. And my dad looked at it and said, "Oh, I really wanted to go there. Too bad we don't have time." And my mom told him that, "Don't worry, they're not going anywhere. We'll see them the next time we're here." And that was December of 2000.
Oh shit!
So 9 months later, they were gone.
Oh my god!
And she's like, and then 9 months later, and I did confirm when the second plane hit, she said she had just put me on the bus, and she was tying my brother's shoe. She had Good Morning America on, and that's when the second plane hit, and the first plane had hit while she was putting me on the bus.
Well, that's like,
so she's like, and so part of what we talked about is when I moved to Colorado, we stopped in Oklahoma City and went to the Oklahoma City Bombing Museum.
Mm-hmm.
And she really struggled to get through that museum. It's really hard to go through. And she was like, imagine, like, she cannot go to Ground Zero, which is one of the places we are going when we're in New York.
Are you taking your camera?
Yeah, me and Al are both taking our cameras. And so that's one of the places that we're going. And
I would love. That is one of the places that I would love to go to that I have not yet.
road trip.
The facts.
We could just stop along the way and pick people up.
Welcome back, everybody, to the third episode of the Undead Family Podcast.
You don't
Say
know how
hi,
to
everybody.
count. That's 4.
Or
It's the 4th.
Is it 4?
Yes, try it
Okay.
again.
Editor, edit that, please.
Cut.
I'm gonna get the
One thing before we
like-
start this. Can we try not to talk over each other? Because fucking Christ, we're really bad at it.
We really are.
that. And me and Hank talked about it. Like, we're gonna try to, at the time,
We
close
need
to it.
We need to do like unsubscribe. We gotta get the cans and open them. Gotta get that unison at the beginning.
Well, I've got some cans by me, but I don't know if we want them on camera.
Mhm.
Ready?
Doesn't matter.
Yep.
Welcome back, everybody, to the 4th episode of the Undead Family Podcast. Say hi, everybody.
Hey.
What's up?
So,
Today's subject, the Mandela Effect. Insert
forgot.
crowd cheering.
I forgot
Everybody.
that's what we were doing.
Everybody just stared at Hank for a good solid 2 seconds, just nodding at like, yeah.
I completely forgot we were doing Mandela
it's-
Effect.
it's only the stare because me and Reaper both are like,
Well,
we
did you
we
forget, or are
this.
you in an alternate universe and we've been sucked into it? Because that's
No,
one
we
of the theories on the
definitely-
Mandela Effect.
Yeah.
No, we definitely covered it for an hour and just couldn't
We
do anything
did.
with it.
It
But
happened.
that's fine. Hank was not there for that, so this is
Right.
perfect.
Because that
So-
was like the double stuffed Oreo and
Yeah, I thought you were going to say
Napoli
something
that,
else.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What double stuff did you think he was gonna say? Ducky, explain. Tell the class.
I thought he was going to say the
But-
double audio.
Oh,
Like,
I kind of figured that was one of the double audio episodes.
It was.
it was the original double
The
audio
original
episode.
double audio, 3.5 hours long.
the episode before I started.
Mhm.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
I'm sure you're all aware then, but the audience, of where the Mandela Effect got its name first. The whole theory started when, in 2013, Nelson Mandela died, and everybody swore he died in the 80s. in
Yeah,
prison.
in prison, yeah.
Because they said he did.
And see, did he
I
or
thought-
didn't he?
No, but I thought that was like the whole thing. Is because
It was
the
in a
government
book.
said forever that he had died in prison, and then it turns
Wait,
out he was
okay.
still alive in prison.
Each one of you, when you picture the Fruit of the Looms emblem, what do you picture?
Cornucopia, even though I can't picture it.
I wasn't talking
Yeah.
to you. You can't picture it.
I mean, it's
It definitely had the basket.
Right.
yeah. As far back as I can remember, it's always had the cornucopia.
Yeah.
The Monopoly Man.
Monocle.
Monocle.
Yep.
See? He don't have one.
Mhm.
And Pokemon. I've always remembered Pikachu with a black tip on his tail.
No,
If
it's
they
all
say
yellow.
bunny face. See, you're in a different universe than me.
But here's the thing. There's I can't remember his name, but there's the other, like his enemy, the other
Yeah.
electric cat, basically. That
Meowth.
did no, not
No?
Meowth.
Yeah.
I'm talking about it was another electric powered, basically a Pikachu that wasn't Pikachu.
Right.
He had black stripes, and I believe he had a black tail.
You talking about the evolved form of Pikachu?
Oh, there's another. It was
Because
like another Pikachu.
Raichu had black tip ears, black stripes, and a black tip tail,
That's what I'm saying.
which is the evolved form of Pikachu.
Reaper, you're distracting me with how you're caressing your steering wheel.
I think he's literally.
Ducky. Insert Golem from Lord of the Rings. My precious.
Mhm.
But And when it hits me real big is I grew up with Berenstein Bears, as they say it's called. But I always thought it was
Bernstein.
Bernstein Bears. I
Bernstein.
even ran to my shed. I've got my original book, and it's not how I remember it in the shed.
Yeah, I remember it spelled Bernstein, but it's
Right.
Berstain.
So
All right.
I found an interesting one.
What?
Captain Crunch. Was it Captain or Captain?
Captain.
Mm-hmm. That's what I remembered. Captain.
Are we wrong?
No. No. We're gonna double check.
I remember Captain because
Yeah,
it
it
was
was
never
Cap.
fully spelled out. But that's just like
CAPN?
it's just like the Fruit of the Loom. Not Fruit of the Loom. Fruit Loops. FROOT.
Yep.
Well, what about Looney Tunes?
Yeah.
Which
Ah.
is it TOONS
I
or
always
TUNS?
I remember tunes because it's like the abbreviation of cartoons, but it's
Right.
tunes is in the music.
As in Merry Melodies, they used to be called. But I always thought it was tunes.
The one that I thought was really strange was Oscar Mayer because I grew up with the Oscar Mayer song. You know, my
Right.
baloney has a first name.
My baloney has a first name. It's S-O-S-C-A-R. My baloney has a second name. It's M-A-Y-E-R. Oh, I have to eat it every day. And if you ask me why, I say, 'cause Oscar Mayer has a way with B-O-L-O-G-N-A.
And people were spelling it M-E-Y-E-R. But I clearly remember the song M-A-Y-E-R. So
Here's one that I don't believe we talked about the last time. Is the Starbucks emblem, the Starbucks logo?
Right.
Does her crown have a star?
It
oh,
does, doesn't it?
That's a good one.
I think it's just a star on top of her head, isn't it?
It's hard to tell because I only see this in images. I don't think it is.
Here's one while you're looking. I thought Shaggy always had an Adam's apple.
Yes, I firmly remember Shaggy having an Adam's apple.
Which quote was it? It just says quote.
Of course, none of us mentioned the really big one,
Kit Kat?
Sinbad.
Oh, no, that one, you cannot convince me he was not in
You
in
don't
the
even-
movie Shazam.
You have aphantasia, and you can picture that movie.
I can.
Look, there's a Shazam movie now,
Yeah.
but there was never
Yeah, it was
a
Shaquille
Sinbad
O'Neal.
movie named Shazam. There was
But I swear there
Shazam.
was.
Yeah.
Now he may have played a genie in a movie, but it wasn't Shazam.
According to him, he's never played a genie.
He claims he never has.
Mm-hmm.
Does the Pringles guy have a monocle?
I thought that was Planner Peanut. Does it?
I think he does. Does he not?
I can see it in my
He
head.
does. He does now, but I don't remember him having one.
I vaguely remember him having.
I mean, I always just look at if it says Pringles and what color is the can.
Red.
Oh, it depends on the flavor.
Yeah, the flavor. I go
So
for the
there's-
cheddar, which is like the orangish yellow.
There's supposed to be a quote from The Matrix that's on that list of Mandela Effect. Like it was a film dialogue error, but I can't find what quote it is.
Well, while you look at that, I know the Star Wars quote, Luke, I am your father, don't exist. It's
No, it's Luke, I am your father versus the
No.
true line. No,
Right.
I am your father. Another
and half the
misquoted
people said that.
another misquoted film line is from Snow White. We all kind of remember mirror, mirror on the wall, and it's magic mirror on the wall.
And that don't even fall off your tongue.
It doesn't. It doesn't sound good.
No.
And then, Forrest Gump, life is like a box of chocolates. But it's
There's
actually
a-
life was.
There's a lyric error in the song Barbie Girl.
Well, I don't know the lyrics to this. I couldn't take.
Uh,
I'm a Barbie girl.
That's exactly what's playing in my head.
so according to Reddit, Reaper, the Matrix line is, "What if I told you everything you knew was a lie?"
Isn't that the actual line?
Hold on. Now I'm gonna go click on it again because here's a full list of quotes.
So I have the full script here. Somebody put the entire script from the scene. Morpheus says, "I can see it in your eyes. You have the look of a man who accepts what he sees because he's expecting to wake up. Ironically, this is not far from the truth. Do you believe in fate, Neo?" Neo says, "No." He says, "Why not?" Neo says, "Because I don't like the idea that I'm not in control of my life." Morpheus says, "I know exactly what you mean. Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life that there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. It is this feeling that has brought you to me. Do you know what I'm talking about?" He says, "The Matrix." And he says, "Do you want to know what it is?" He then explains what it is. But yeah, he never says it.
I could have swore that line was in the movie.
I remember it being in the movie.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, according to Reddit, a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I have a weird one.
What?
So on most side mirrors, there's a line, there's a sentence.
Yeah.
Blank blank closer than they appear.
Right.
Fill in the first two.
Objects in mirror.
Objects in mirror are closer than they appear.
So objects in mirror are closer than they appear, Hank.
What?
So objects in mirror may be closer than they appear, is what I remember.
Right.
But I guess some people have objects in mirror are closer than they appear.
I think it depends on the manufacturer because not all of them put the same thing on it.
It's possible. That's just one of the things that popped up on my Google.
Pixie sticks.
What about them? They're amazing. Full of sugar.
Yeah, but was it?
They burn if you snort them.
Was it? Why were we so dumb as kids? No. Is it spelled PIX or PYX?
PIX.
I don't think I ever read the straw. I just knew what it was called.
So
PIX?
it is PIX, but a lot of people thought it was PYX.
Do you want to talk about dumb shit we did as kids? I literally had an acquaintance that if you gave them $1, they would do the craziest shit. Like snort a pixie stick. Or spray perfume up their nose. Or snort glitter. Okay, so you were that friend. You were not the friend when I had that friend. But legitimately, they sprayed my perfume. It was Britney Spears perfume. Aging myself. And they sprayed it up their nose. And then snorted glitter and was literally sneezing glitter for a week.
Got one for you.
You know the worst thing ever?
What?
come out of the bathroom, literally after using the bathroom, and have your sister take a can of air freshener and spray the back of your pants. Not realizing that she saturated the back of your pants. Go sit down, and after about an hour, your poor little brown eye is burning like a mother trucker.
You think that's bad? You think that's bad?
You
They
can't wash
make-
that off.
Look, they make feminine pads with menthol.
I can only
Yeah.
think of one more thing more painful than that. Making homemade salsa and forgetting to wash your hands when you go to the bathroom right quick.
Done that.
As a man.
Done
But
that.
as a man.
The funniest thing, and the only reason that was in my mind is because me and my best friend were just talking about it. She used it not realizing that she was using that. She got all the way out to her car, and I quote, the words that came out of her mouth was, "Why is my coochie breathing fire?"
God.
So here's a really weird Mandela effect that I had not thought about in a while. Mother Teresa,
Was never a saint
when did she become a saint?
after she died.
But when did she become a saint? Because I remember as a kid, everybody was like, Mother Teresa was a saint.
I remember him saying that when I was a kid, and I'm the oldest one here.
This is really bad because I'm Catholic and I should know that. I'm gonna go 1998,
Way later than you think.
2015.
2016.
Oh, it's so close. That's crazy.
That don't sound right though, does it?
This was like
No.
98, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah,
I was
and it
thinking-
even says like a lot of people remember it being in the 90s. And
That's
she
what I
was
was
still
gonna
alive. But nope.
You gotta figure the 90s, I was in my teens and tweens. So it's
I
like,
was
listen.
not.
I kind of wanted to save this for my episode, but it's too good not to talk about. In music, okay? Why is our so I used to defend this because people were like, oh, your generational in music is so dark and depressing and you idealize suicide and death and all this stuff. Why is it now that I'm 34 years old and I go back and I actually sit down and I listen to like Mudvayne, World So Cold, Papa Roach, Last Resort, anything by Bullet for My Valentine, or anything by a bunch of these bands, and I'm like, oh my God, we were so freaking dark. Why?
It's just like that one Uncle
Were?
Cracker song.
We were dark.
We are.
We still are.
Yeah, I was just saying, I still listen to all the same music.
I do too, but I mean, hell, you can
But-
call almost an entire generation and a half with one song, and it's
But-
Korn, Shoots and Ladders.
Yeah.
you go all the way back to the 50s. Who here knows Stagger Lee? That's a famous 50s song.
Yeah,
Rockstar. He's talking about shooting a man in a bar. He shot him so until the bullets flew through him and broke the bartender's glass. That's
Well,
a
I
pretty
mean-
dark song.
I mean,
And it's that beat.
we
Side
had
of a Bullet by Nickelback was from Chad Kroger's perspective of Dimebag Darrell getting shot on stage.
Fade to Black Metallica.
we had two sides of it, I think. We had really aggressive dark music, and then we had
Then you have
really
Britney Spears.
inappropriate. I'm not even talking Britney Spears. Inappropriate. Shaggy.
Let
Bathroom floor.
let's
Hello.
you want to go inappropriate?
I had no reason to be
Superman by
singing
Eminem.
that song at that
No.
age.
No.
I
No,
literally
there's a song out there that
Hold on.
says
hold on. When Shaggy, I can't think of the name of the song.
It
Somebody
wasn't
help
me.
Thank you.
wasn't me.
When that song came out, I remember we were somewhere. I think we were home, and I was singing it at home, helping my mom make dinner. And she was like, she stopped and was listening, and it was, kissing on the sofa, all of that. And I got to the bathroom floor, and she was like, "What? What are you singing?" And I had to pull it up so she could hear it. She was like, do you even know what you're singing about? And I was like, no, it's just a really good song.
I did the same thing to Cherry Pie by Warrant. Look at the lyrics to that song.
Yeah.
Swinging in
Listen,
the bathroom, swinging in the car.
my mom's gonna hate me for telling this story, but I'm gonna tell it anyways. My mom, she picked me up from dinner one night, and I was not living with her.
I know this
But
story.
she picks me up. I believe I was working on my Mustang. She was picking me up to give me a ride when I was replacing the motor. And she picks me up, and I get in the car, and she's like, "Hey, guess what? I found this really great song. I love it so much." I'm like, "Oh, cool. That's awesome." She's like, I'm gonna be a cool mom, blah blah blah. I was like, "Awesome. What song? Play it." Like, cool. She puts on "Whistle" by Flow Rida. And so I let it play because it's a good song, and
This is
I
good
was
song.
just like jammed out with my mom, let her enjoy it. Song finishes. She pauses it so it doesn't go to the next song. She's like, "So what do you think about this new song? I really like it." I was like, "Yeah, it's a good song." I was like, "Do you know what it's about?" And she goes, "It's about whistling." I was like, "No, it's not." And she's like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "You really want me to explain it to you?" She goes, "Yeah, I don't get it. The whole song's like just, you know, blow my whistle, baby, blow my whistle." And then she stopped, and I just was sitting there quietly looking at her, and she just goes, "God damn it."
I
I
got a
was like,
similar.
it's one thing when you're just jamming to the song, but when you just say it, all of a sudden your brain clicks, and you're like, "Oh,
Listen, there's a
I
song.
just played that for my son."
I know you guys know this song, and as soon as I start to say it, y'all are gonna go, "Oh my god, shut up!" There is literally a song out there that says, "You and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals, so let's do it like they do it on the Discovery Channel."
Yep.
I mean, come on, "The Bad Touch" by the Bloodhound Gang,
Yeah.
We
all
had
about facts.
we just had really good music, and we were all young and innocent. Every generation has it. I think we just got a
I
little
walked
bit
into
too
the
far
living room.
away with it.
But I mean, we got so dark as to, and I hate spoiler alert to the viewers. Pumped Up Kicks. Absolutely
Why?
love the song. It's a great song. But
Why
it's literally about a school shooting.
when you were literally singing that song just clicked and started playing in my head, and then you said it, I was like, oh shit, get out of my head,
Pumped Up
Reaper.
Kicks, Youth of the Nation by POD was about a school shooting as well.
Yeah.
Like, why did our
That
generation
one
get
took me
so fucking dark?
years. POD had some dark
And
songs.
what's odd is
for
they're a Christian rock
Christian
band.
band. Yeah.
I think
I was gonna say,
it goes back to the generational thing. At the time of when we were growing up, it was a very
It-
unique situation.
In my mind, it I hear that our parents always go in, "Oh, it's just a phase. It's an emo phase. You're not really
Not
emo."
a phase.
No,
Not a
we
phase.
are definitely fucking emo. We're
Oh, yeah.
emo as shit. And there's
Listen.
no two ways around it.
Listen, if you put on "I'm Just a Kid" by Simple Plan right now, all three of us, maybe Hank, all three of us are instantly gonna jam out.
Mhm.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Like that was the anthem of one of the anthems of our youth.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
anybody.
and what's the other one? Good Charlotte,
Yep.
the anthem. Come on.
Literally the anthem.
I
There's
really
another Simple Plan song. I gotta look it up.
I really just want to go back to the time of MySpace where every week you did some HTTML to change your background and hide where the music was playing so no one could turn it off. Like that was,
Yep.
I remember doing that for the longest time. And when my mom started Facebook because she didn't have MySpace. she got Facebook. She was like, "Come on, come join Facebook. It's so much fun. We can, play games and do all of this stuff, and it's great." And I was like, "Facebook is fucking for old people. The fuck are you talking about, Mom? I don't
Right.
know. No, I don't want a Facebook. Like, MySpace is where it's at." And then I caved and got
I
Facebook.
hacked a Facebook early to talk to college girls.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
being honest.
I mean, to be fair, my
addicted.
MySpace account, I was a year older because you had to be I think you had to be 16 to get a MySpace, and I was
13.
15. Was it 13?
Yeah.
Oh, well then I was 14. I was 12 and got a
I was
MySpace,
12 when
which
I
is
had
kind of
MySpace.
fucked up.
Facebook, you had to have a
A
college.
.edu, yeah, you had it before they
Yep.
went public, yeah.
Yep.
Crazy.
The song I was talking about is "Addicted" by Simple Plan.
Yes.
Y'all are gonna be mad, and
Yes.
I'm gonna lose 50 points right now.
She's got to pee.
That was quick.
That was a quick 50 points.
I was not.
I gave her Taco Bell before we recorded. It's kind of my fault.
Back from Ducky Breaking. 3,
I don't know. They were
two.
burnt.
1, action.
I'm definitely
Okay.
I'm keeping the I'm gonna lose 50 points right here because that was just too perfect. Okay.
I mean, that's
Now
fine,
start.
but the rest of it.
Yeah.
I walked in the living room one day, and my mom and her mom, my grandma, said, "This is you want to watch this with us? This is an interesting documentary about strippers and prostitutes." And I'm like, "You're asking me that?" I'm like 15, 16. And then I look over at the TV, and they don't realize that I left it on MTV, and it was Metallica playing Turn the Page. And they thought it was a documentary.
My
No, so the best
favorite-
one.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I was gonna say
What?
the best one is when you fall asleep watching YouTube and wake up and it's like the giant horse conch weighs 3
Yes.
pounds, and you're
Yes.
like, the giant what?
Okay, so I have two things. First thing, my favorite when I was ever watching TV with my parents. So like, we don't have that now, commercials, all of that fun stuff, because we stream everything. So I
Right.
remember weekly, the shows that we would watch as a family were NYPD Blue, ER,
God, ER.
and there was one more that I can't think of off the top of my head, but it was like a Thursday show. And so we would have dinner, I would finish my homework, we would go down and we would watch that. And I vividly remember when my parents would realize something was inappropriate about to happen. It was either look away or I would have two hands
Yep.
shoved over my face to hide whatever was inappropriate, or I would have my dad's hands on my ears and my mom's hands over my eyes because it
Mine
was
was different.
inappropriate.
Mine would be my mom reaching for my face, my dad going, "Bud, look at that."
But do you guys remember when you would
my mom trying to cover my face one time and smacking the shit out of me, and she just tried to do it so fast, and it was just. Oh. I was like, "What was that for?" She's like, "Don't look." I was like, "And what? I missed it."
it would get really awkward, like as I got older, and like when as an adult with living with my dad, we would watch movies and stuff, and I'm an adult, I have a kid, like clearly I know how things work. And
Look,
it would be so awkward because I could tell he would get so uncomfortable, and I would just be like, "Oh, look, this is very interesting in my phone. I don't care what's playing on the TV right now," because I knew it made him feel less awkward.
I
Start watching
remember,
Terminator 2 HD with your dad.
I remember when Dad got us cable boxes for our room, and me and my brother, we were like, I don't know, 9 and 12 or 10 and 12. Something, I don't remember exactly, but like we weren't quite teenagers yet. And my parents would go to bed and we would man boob.
Adjust them.
You're flashing everybody with a little bit of areola there, buddy.
That's all good. It happens with tank tops. It's okay. It's
Just
all
a little nip slip, that's all.
But no, we used
Save
to
it for
wait
your
until
OnlyFans.
I don't have an OnlyFans, by the way. But no, we would stay up late and wait until my parents to go to bed, and we'd stay up and watch Skinamax.
Okay. Are you guys old enough to end the gap? Do you remember the scrambled channels?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sitting there, every now and then it would be perfectly clear, and then, like 10 to 13-year-old you was like, "Yeah!"
I was a little
I-
older because I'm a girl, but yes.
Yeah, it was like, no, they blurred out the boobies.
Do you remember falling asleep if you had a TV in your room, or if you were in the living room, family, or wherever a TV was, and you fall asleep, and you were audibly assaulted by George Lopez at 2:00 in the morning?
Yes. Yes.
Or
Absolutely.
that commercial, the greatest hits of, and it was like 20 different songs. It was like the CDs,
On Time
and it
Life.
was just like Celine Dion just screaming and belting at the top volume.
Fucking
of-
light, fucking
The
Lifehouse.
The funniest, yeah, Lifehouse was always on there.
Hanging by a moment
funniest-
every time.
Yes. The funniest to me was always like my grandma when I was little, she would always watch it. She would watch her soaps,
her
her
stories. Her
her
stories.
stories. Yes. And no matter what, it was always the commercial for the Christian like soundtrack or whatever. I don't even remember the band, but it was the band that was big back then. It was all
Hanson?
No,
no,
the Christian band, like
it,
so,
it
like
was
Casting
like
Crowns, DC Talk, like those were all
way
big.
before that. Way before that.
Rock or gospel style?
It was like more gospel style, but it was always funny to me.
Newsboys.
Then it's like-
Sound like the
Newsboys is
Goodman
older.
family.
Newsboys is after DC Talk because the lead singer from
DC
Newsboys
Talk was
in DC
Toby
Talk.
Mac.
I saw Newsboys in concert.
I've
I've seen Toby Mac and Newsboys and
Yeah.
Building 429 and Casting Crowns.
Casting Crowns, Third Day, Newsboys, Toby Mac.
Now, I will throw one out there that I've gotten to see that not a lot of people have, and I am proud of this because I absolutely love their stuff. You guys ready?
If
Yeah.
you say who I think you're gonna say, I'm gonna be really annoyed.
Demon Hunter.
Oh no.
That's pretty dope. I saw Red.
I've seen Red. Red's pretty good. Red's one of my
Red-
favorites, though.
Red opened up for, was it Mercy Me? It was either Mercy Me or Third Day. I used to go to a lot of like Christian concerts with my mom when I was a kid, and but I
one of
remember standing next to my mom, and it was like welcome to the stage, Red. My mom's like, who is this? And if you don't know, Red is a Christian screamo band. Yes,
Yeah. There were a few of them.
very like in
Under Oath is
underrated.
another.
Under Oath is another one.
Yeah, Under Oath is another one.
Red is an underrated Christian rock band, but when they opened, like the first song, they went hard, and I was like, "Wow, this is actually incredible." And my mom was like, "Who are these people? Oh my gosh!"
So like, and those were kind of like those were the bands that I gravitated towards because like growing up in a Christian family and being Southern Baptist, like you weren't. It was frowned upon to listen to a lot of secular stuff, and everything outside of like the Christian genre is considered secular.
So Skillet,
Yes.
Skillet, yeah, Skillet's a good one.
I was
Skillet,
listening today.
Skillet goes
So,
so
like,
hard.
Like Reds, Under Oath. Under Oath eventually switched. They did switch it up, but like Writing on the Walls was a huge
another one.
Christian song.
Creed started out
I
as a
know.
Christian rock band.
He is still a Christian. He is still a Christian musician. He's gone solo now. Scott Stapp.
Right.
Yeah, when
And
he's not on crack.
his new album. I heard that the end of last year when it came out. It's
Yeah,
not
his
bad.
solo album. It's not
I haven't
bad.
heard it.
But I
Does he
believe
still sound like Eddie Vedder?
Creed is touring.
Yes, Creed is touring.
Yeah, he joined back up with him.
Now I'm gonna throw one out that's kind of trippy that people don't like to mention because it's kind of off the wall. Anybody ever heard of Love and Death?
Yes.
I've heard of him. It's been a while.
The lead singer of Love and Death is the guitarist from Korn.
Oh, that's cool.
It's Brian Head Welch. Yes.
Interesting.
That's interesting. Here's an interesting fact about Creed. Did you know that the guitarist from Creed, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was in a band in college with Bert Kreischer.
Oh, that's cool.
Really?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I can't
And
picture
Bert-
him in a band.
Bert was the lead singer. It's in his book. It's in Bert's book.
As
That's
in the
crazy.
machine.
Yes, as in
Yes.
I
the
cannot
machine.
picture
And
him
the-
as a singer.
The machine. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he talks about basically he wanted to be the front man for a band, and it was just kind of like a fun idea, like, oh, we're gonna do this. And he focused more on the front man image and like the lifestyle of a front man than actually being a good artist. And so
I could.
one of the funniest stories from his book, and it's a funny book. There's a lot of funny stories, but he talks about like the guys in the band, and he thinks that they're just like riffing and like playing this music, like this is incredible, blah blah blah. And they're like, oh, you think you could put some lyrics to this, blah blah blah, like whatever. And it turns out it's a fucking U2 song, and he just didn't know. And so he's
No.
trying to like improve on Bono.
But you know what
That's
blows my mind?
hilarious.
What blows my mind? Chad from Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They put him in the booth with a drum set and
Oh,
headphones
yeah.
on, and they
30
clearly
Seconds to Mars.
took out
Yes.
the drums to 30 Seconds to Mars. And I mean, he had never heard The Kill before.
Drumeo does that all the time.
Yeah.
And he just
So we
I
wanna
mean, he just ran
mention
with it.
how scarily he looks like Will Ferrell.
Yes.
Yes.
Have you ever seen him and Will Ferrell do the drum off?
Yes.
It's one of the
Hilarious.
funniest things on the planet.
To be
Will
fair,
Ferrell
I
gets done, he's like,
really,
"Suck that, Chadwick."
really liked Chad's version of that song way better. It went
Oh, yeah.
way harder
Oh,
than
yeah.
the original.
The drummer, Jared's brother, is the drummer for 30 Seconds to Mars, and he's come out to say like he didn't expect anybody to improve that song, but Chad did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Chad made that song in just a flow, having no idea who it was, what it was. It was funny that he was like, it definitely sounds emo.
Now the
I-
best
Musicians scare the shit out of me because of how well they do things. I want to be that good at something, but I am not musically inclined in the slightest. I tried to learn guitar one semester for school. I did do cello when I was in middle school, but when we moved from Missouri to Illinois didn't have orchestra, they just had band, which is one of the things I love about southern states is, especially for like the Nugget, he has so many opportunities for extracurricular activities that is just not available up north. And up north, he was in a private school that I paid $15,000 a year for because it was a better option than public school. So like, you know
Okay.
how schools have grading? The public school he would have gone to was the public school I went to for the 6th grade. And what? You good? You good, Hank?
I just heard a gunshot.
Oh
That's why I was
shit.
like, glad my shotgun's next to me.
Right. But like up north, like where he was going to go to public school, the grading system for that school was like a 3 out of 10. And the private school that I paid for was like a 4.5 out of 10. The middle school he goes to now is like a 7.5 out of 10, if not higher. And it's free. Like, that was one of the reasons why I was super gung-ho about coming down here, was because A, the school system is better, and B, I don't have to pay for it. And like, my dad never understood until I showed him the test scores from Illinois to here. And when we came down here, his private school refused to send me his transcript for 2nd grade. They blatantly refused to send me the transcript. They were like, "We can't get you the transcript until the school year starts." I was like, "Well, his school year down here starts 2 weeks before you guys do. Like, I need his transcripts. Like, I can't get him enrolled." And they were being such assholes about it. And you can ask Goblin. Like, I was on the phone with them for 3 days in a row trying to get his stupid transcripts, to the point where literally the elementary school he went to when we first moved down here was like, "We'll just give him a placement test. It's fine." The school he went to was a Catholic school.
Right.
I'm Catholic. My whole family's Catholic. It was fine. He was a grade and a half behind in math when we moved down here. And for anyone who doesn't know, between 2nd and 3rd grade is a transitional grade, because you're getting out of that little kid era. You're not in kindergarten anymore. You're not in 1st grade, 2nd grade. You've gotten the flow of how school works by the time you hit 3rd grade. So
Right.
2nd to 3rd grade is a transitional grade, and it is a hard transition for most kids. It's even worse for kids who are in private school, Catholic school in particular. And that was one of the reasons why, when I initially decided to put the Nugget in Catholic school, like, my family, my 2 cousins that I've talked about before, they were in a Catholic school for many, many years when they lived in Chicago. And they were like, "It's not a good idea. Here's why. The kid's going to be super sheltered. He's not going to understand." I was like, "In this family, he is not going to be sheltered. Who are you kidding?" First off, it didn't occur to me how stunted he was going to be education-wise until we moved down here, and he was a grade and a half behind in math and a grade behind in reading. Like, his reading comprehension wasn't where it was supposed to be. And I was like, "Holy effing
Well-
crap. Am I going to have to put him in 2nd grade again?" And they were like, "Nope, he did well enough. We'll just give him some extra time. It'll be fine." It's a little different going from public to private, or from private to public, and vice versa. Plus, it's
Let's say
different curriculum from north to south. And
when
that's
we
one
moved up
thing.
here, my niece was a grade ahead of where they were studying in her class,
Exactly.
coming from Nashville, Tennessee.
I went
When-
from Missouri to Illinois in the 6th grade. I went from middle school with passing periods to, you have to stand in a line and be quiet, because elementary school in the northern states, at least for Illinois, it's pre-K through 6th grade. And then 7th and 8th is junior high, and then you have high school. Completely different down here. Down here, it's pre-K through 5 is elementary school.
Right.
6 through 8 is middle, and then you have high school. And
Right.
it's
Yeah, because communists need their hands held.
Look, when we moved from Alabama to Ohio, I was in middle school. I was actually getting ready to go into high school.
Mhm.
And when we started school in Ohio, we were just starting to cover stuff that I had covered in 7th grade, 8th grade.
Mhm.
Like, I'm like, I already know all this stuff. Like,
Yep. That
why
was
do I need to do it again?
that was one of the hardest transitions for me, was going from middle school to elementary school. Not to mention, we did it in the middle of a semester, so I literally joined halfway through the school year. It sucked.
Yeah.
It was bad. And like, down here, he has so many opportunities for extracurricular activities that just aren't available up north
Now,
at
I
all.
will say that the school that I graduated from, had some pretty pretty good class options. I literally took a whole guitar class for a whole semester,
I did too.
just because it was there, and I was like, well, I've always wanted to learn to play, and I had a guitar, so I was like, why not learn to play it?
Yeah,
Um,
high school was better. I did guitar, I did pottery, like they had some good classes, but it was still really bad. Like we started my freshman year of high school, we had over 1,000 students. 4 years later, when we graduated, we only graduated with 611 students.
That's a big drop.
It's a huge drop, and we had a bunch of kids come into the school, but
still a huge class.
we also had a lot of teen pregnancy and
Mhm.
dropouts and drugs. I mean, for God's sakes, we had a dean of students who was growing and selling pot from her basement.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
We graduated 360 kids in my class. But like it was cool because like I did the guitar class, I played football, played baseball. Um, I played golf for a year. Um, I swam. Um, but my favorite was indoor competition, drumline.
Nice.
Um, where I was on snare. I loved it. It was very much drumline esque. Like if you've ever watched the movie Drumline,
Yeah.
we tried to do a lot of that stuff, and probably showed out more than we played because we kind of sucked. But it was all. I mean, we had fun doing it.
The one thing I really not regret, but feel like I missed out on was the whole actual college experience because my high school did not prepare us at all. I would say probably out of the 611, maybe 200 students went to an actual university. And of those 200 students, half dropped out the year after. And the rest of us went to the community college. And
I went to the College of Hard Knocks, and then went to, and then after I got home, I went to a community college for my fire certs. But yeah,
Let's say I tried the college, but I had real bad test anxiety. And I
I
had great grades, but when it come to exams, I'd freeze up.
so my biggest issue is I have dyslexia and written expression. So I have it all in my brain, but when I go to put it on paper, and you guys, the four of you, the three of you, there's four of us. Hi. I know math well. You guys have seen it. Yes, I understand. It's funny to say it. I have it in my brain, but putting it to paper is hard when I have 3 books, two and a half written. The first book took me 3 years to get it anywhere remotely close to where it is. And you all have been in calls with me where I'm like, oh, I wanted to say this, but I don't know how to say it. That's where it comes into having issues. Is I have it all in my brain, but trying to get it onto paper, it's hard. Spelling tests. You would have your spelling tests every week. It was 30 minutes to take your spelling test. And they would say, write a sentence with the word. In 30 minutes, I would have 3 of the 10 words done. But if you did it verbally with me, perfect. Hands down, had it every single time. Crazy. The brain is a crazy place.
I decided after high school that I didn't. I kind of wanted to go to college, but the only way that I was going to be able to go to college was on athletics, and I was not. While I was good, I was not good enough.
Yeah. I don't have enough in me to buckle down and do it, which is why, as much as I want to go back to school to get certifications and classifications and stuff, I don't trust myself enough to spend that much money.
Yeah.
And fail.
And that's like, I went to Sinclair for a year and a half. And in that year and a half, I got my fire level 1 for the state of Ohio. I got my EMTB, and I was working on my level 2 in paramedics. Which each state you have to go through like a level 1, level 2, and then you have to get at least your EMT to be able to work full time. So I did all that, and then it was just like I did the volunteer thing for a couple of years, and I was just like, this is not my career's not progressing the way that I thought it was.
Right.
But when fresh out of high school, I was just like, I want to kick ass, take names, and blow shit up.
And you did it.
I did.
You blew up Bambi
did.
and her family.
I've blown up a lot more, but I'm not at liberty to discuss a lot of that.
That's why I only brought up Bambi and her family. Goblin is
Bambi.
super distracted, and I'm very curious at what he's looking at. Are you
Yeah.
having ChatGPT roasting you again? Or are you
No.
looking at gun parts? Close
Good.
the
I
gun
would
part.
never.
Gun
You
parts.
need to be a participant in this podcast that is super off topic of Mandela Effects. I don't even know where we're at anymore. We were like, yeah, exit.
Somebody had a minus 50 points and it threw us off the rails.
I had to pee. I'm sorry.
But you know, we so far it's been a really interesting
Oh, yeah.
episode.
Yeah, I mean,
I've got a
has.
picture I'm about to post in chat for you to post. Did you know Kevin James in high school on his wrestling team was Mick Foley also? And it's a picture of him in high school in wrestling with Mick Foley getting ready on the same team.
So
Wait, he wrestled with Mick Foley in high school?
Yes, they were on the same high school team.
What?
Yes.
No
I was
way.
shocked.
That's awesome.
Yes. That's
Listen,
real.
So
What the shit?
here comes the boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know the famous scene when he picks him up and slams him.
mhm.
Yeah.
So, obviously it's a movie, so they had to do it safely with wires and all that. Kevin James did that 4 times with no wires to prove he could do it.
Oh yeah, dude's a beast.
He's
So-
legitimately a beast. He legitimately can fight.
To the
Is-
point, he
Kevin
was
James
starter.
is awesome.
Mick Foley was his alternate.
So this is on the lines of interesting things. So I just rewatched Twilight, because why not? Well, at work,
Mhm.
just it is what it is. But
Instantly insert him in front of the fan.
where have you been, Loga? Is my favorite line of all time. But in Eclipse, when Jacob is carrying Bella from the battlefield, yeah, I know you guys probably don't know what I'm talking about, but viewers may. When he's carrying her,
Right, yes. Covering her
I mean,
scent. Covering her scent.
he's
the cat
covering
fight,
he's
yeah.
covering her scent from the fight. They molded a sling-like item that would caress Kristen Stewart's butt and hold a lot of her weight, so he wouldn't physically have to carry her, because they don't take shot. It's not one shot and you were done. It's multiple shots. Well, when he used it, it was like a little, I'm gonna say like a saddle type situation. It looked awkward, like his gait was weird and like it just didn't look right. So they probably did 20 to 30 takes and he carried her full weight and everything every single take, because it just looked weird when he was like just holding her and walking versus physically holding her. They did an interview and he said by the end of that film day, his arms felt like noodles.
But
No, I was going to say,
how? Hey, hang on. How? She
How
looks
what?
like she looks like in the movie she looked like she only weighed 90 pounds.
Yeah. But I mean,
In real life, she looks like she only weighs 90 pounds.
but you can look like you
But-
weigh 90 pounds and be 110,
But-
115 pounds.
But also 90 pounds here, like holding 90 pounds,
Cradling,
cradling,
back of
and
arms,
walking.
legs, and walking
And-
and acting and
Yeah, I guess I could see
And-
it.
and not only that, but if I mean, I don't know specifically, like, I can't see it. I have amputation. It actually has fucking hate Twilight. But it's, if I remember from you watching it and me being in the room, It's not a short walk.
No,
that He's cradling her.
isn't it? I think it like.
And if he had
I
to do,
think it was like 2.5, 3 miles, maybe 4.
which he didn't walk 2.5 miles
No.
doing that.
No, I
But
can't remember how.
even if it was 40 yards and you had to do that 20 or 30 times,
Mm-hmm.
I bet your arms would be shot by
Mm-hmm.
the end of it.
Probably, I would say so.
I always say, how can you take a movie seriously that one of the big lines in one of them is "Hold on tight, Spider Monkey"?
That is the cringiest line ever. Like it.
But
I
every
thought
girl,
the cringiest line was, "Hi, I'm Edward. I'm 17."
but every girl in the world ate that line up.
Oh,
Every single one of them.
okay, let's be honest. So I read the books before the movies came out. Book wise, I'm an Edward girly. Movie wise, I'm a Jacob girly.
It's Team Jacob all the way via the movie. I mean, I'm sorry. He went from toothpick to fucking jacked.
Jacked. And the craziest thing about that is he wasn't going to be Jacob in the second movie. He was not going to be Jacob. And he said, give me time and I can get to where you want me to be. Fun fact. Hold on. Let me double check my facts first.
Wasn't he the kid from Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
Yes.
Yes.
He was Shark Boy.
Because I saw pictures of like behind the scenes from Shark Boy. I don't remember. It was on like Complex on Instagram, and I was like, I haven't seen like images of Shark Boy and Lava Girl in like 10 years, and I instantly thought, is that young Jacob?
Yes.
So.
Yep.
And this is for you, Goblin. So we just watched The Descendants, right? The Disney movie, The Descendants.
Mm-hmm.
Jay.
He was very hesitant to answer that on a podcast.
He's already said that. So Jay, right? You know Jay. He's Jafar's son.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He is Seth in Twilight. He is Seth Clearwater in Twilight. He is Seth.
Okay.
That I promise you, I had to double check.
Look.
He is Seth from Twilight, from Eclipse, Breaking Dawn Part 1 and Part 2. It's Seth.
Holy shit, that is him.
And it dawned on me when I was watching Eclipse and he ran up and I went, holy shit, because I knew it was the same person, but I had forgotten until I rewatched it.
Like the fact that Carlos is Beast Boy from Titans.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's also the son in Grown Ups 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've got another
R.I.P.
trivia fact for you then.
R.I.P. Carlos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know about Ducky on this one, but I'm sure both of you have seen the Rocky movies.
Yes.
Oh God.
Adrian.
Adrian is Nicolas Cage's aunt and Francis Ford Coppola's sister.
Really?
Yep.
Hold on, I gotta find it. Shit, what is it?
But
what else was Carlos in?
I can tell you. Hold on.
I know
he was Cameron Boyce. He was in
He was in one of the Dalmatian movies.
Jesse, yeah.
He was in
Jesse.
Jesse
My
on
niece
Disney.
watched that so much. Oh God. My niece had a big crush on him.
Mrs. Fletcher, Descendants 3,
Mirrors.
Grown
He's
Ups,
the little boy in Mirrors with Kiefer Sutherland.
Paradise City, Wicked Woods,
the horror movie.
Poser. Oh, that's a music video.
You know who's all over TikTok? It looks really good and happy and doing great.
Amanda Bynes?
No. No.
Not Hillary Duff.
We're not going there. We're not going there either. No. You guys remember the kid that played Zero?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Dude, he is all over TikTok, dude.
Bro, I so badly want them to make a live action Goofy movie just so that he will play
I love the Goofy movie.
what's his punchline? Is it
Power
punchline?
line. Power line.
Power Line.
Power line.
Yeah. Yeah. Him.
So, do you guys know
Dude,
who
he's
I'm
got the dance down though.
Yes, he does.
Like,
And he is a die-hard Powerline fan.
dude, they sent him his own
Yeah.
like
His own jacket.
Disney sent him his a care package for Goofy for the Goofy movie, and he had his own like Powerline jacket and everything. Like had a backstage pass for like a tour, like if they actually did a tour.
Yep.
Goof Troop was the bomb when I was a kid.
Actually, now you've got me wanting to go look up fucking Amanda Bynes and Hillary Duff on TikTok.
Amanda Bynes got a heart tattoo on her cheek, and her nose is really big.
Now, she went ghetto.
She's going through it, but she looks a lot healthier than she did a couple years ago.
Disney's rough
Yeah.
on kid actors.
It is.
Look at Goldberg from Mighty Ducks. He's finally cleaned up and looking better.
Look at Miley Cyrus.
Hey, she had her arc.
She's still going through it.
Britney Spears was a
She's
Mickey
getting
Mouse
back
Club.
to it,
No,
though.
not really.
Miley's getting back to where she wants to be. So you have to think, and this is one thing when people used to get and rag on Miley about how she went from the Hannah Montana of it all to just batshit crazy. She was a
I don't think that had to do
child.
with. I don't think that had to
So-
do with Disney. I think that had to
It
do
did.
with all the.
It did.
It
It
did.
did.
Listen.
It may have played a part, but I think there was a
No,
lot
no,
of
no,
pressure
no,
from
no.
who her dad was.
No,
No.
I mean, you're
no,
the
no.
daughter of Billy Ray Cyrus.
Mm-mm.
No, listen.
You see who he's dating.
I had a very different view of Miley Cyrus until she went on Rogan. She went
I
on
don't-
Rogan.
Like, I don't hate her. I don't dislike her. or
I'm
anything.
not even saying hate her. It was just like it's really sad what she's going through.
Yeah.
When she went on Rogan, she talked about everything. She let everything out and talked about what it was like because he asked. He simply doesn't care. He just wants to know. He's not going to judge you for what you say. And he wanted to know, what was it like being 12 years old, being the biggest superstar on the planet for Disney,
Right.
and having to do that. And she talks about like the hours that they were putting her through, the really, really easy access to all kinds, basically anything,
Uppers, downers,
uppers, downers,
Alcohol, all kinds of stuff.
anything
anything to
you
keep
can think
them
of.
upright and working.
Yep. I mean, shit. Look at
both-
Didn't it interfere with like her school and stuff too? Like,
Yep. Yes,
Look
it
how
did.
he went off the rails.
But
Shia,
then, yeah, and
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf is a whole. That's a
Yeah.
whole other ball game. But and not to just keep bringing up other podcasts, but him on John Berthenol's podcast when
dude,
when
that interview
nobody,
was-
yeah, when
that
nobody
interview
else
was
when nobody
rough.
else would even talk to him, John said, and this is one reason why I love John Berthenol, is he said, I want to have a conversation with him and just hear him out. And it broke the internet.
I saw a snippet of something, and it might have been that one when he was talking about he was in rehab and they would have family weekend.
Yep.
And every single week, not a single person ever showed up for him.
He never wanted to, he didn't want to go.
Mhm.
He didn't want to go to watch because you have to sit there and watch and there's nobody on the screen for you. And the person told him, no, just come. Like, you never know. And
more recent
his
movie
friend
he
was
made
there.
that was really good was the Peanut Butter Falcon.
I haven't seen it.
If anybody's seen it, have any of you seen it?
Mm-mm.
Well, I haven't watched Honey Boy. I think it's Honey Boy is the movie where he plays his dad. But apparently that's supposed to be very good. And
well, the Peanut Butter Falcon,
Look into it.
he's taking this guy with Down syndrome that has a dream of being a wrestler and everything. It's pretty good.
Oh yeah, I've seen bits and pieces of it. It's actually
pretty good movie.
pretty good.
Man, I'll say what me and Jeff, my mom's boyfriend, we watched. Fuck, I can't. I'm not gonna be able to think of it. I don't know the name of the movie, but it's Zac Efron when he plays the wrestler.
Iron Claw.
Iron Claw. Yes.
Art Theater.
So
Good movie.
Zac Efron was fucking jacked in that
Now
movie.
you want to know something cool? I've got pictures of my mom and dad off of my Roku in the crowd at those Kerry Von Erich fights and the Von Erich family fights, and at the Sportatorium in Dallas. They always got front row, and you can see my mom and dad because my dad used to get in the face of some of those wrestlers, because my dad was a stout guy, and
Of course
Are
he did.
they just racing
my mom
down
was
that road?
diehard Von Erich.
I'm trying to remember which Von Erich he played.
He played Kevin Von Erich,
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought it was Kevin.
That is so
the
distracting.
dude from The Bear played Kerry Von Erich.
Yeah, because the Jeremy Allen White who plays Lip Gallagher in Shameless was in that movie as well.
Love him. I love Shameless. If you haven't seen Shameless, 10 out of 10. Recommend watching it. It is so amazing.
It's weird seeing Van as somebody other than Van.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played Kerry Von Erich.
Yeah.
It is always funny to me when you can see Van when he plays what's his name on Shameless. You
Kevin.
can see Kevin. Yes.
Yeah.
You can see glimpses of like this could be Van.
Mm-hmm.
Like if Van didn't get with Cheyenne, you get Kevin.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I love watching Shameless.
And I don't know if you guys have seen the blooper reel from
Reba's news show.
when he shows up and he's like, Mrs. H.
Yeah.
He's like, "You want a
Cheyenne
bar
needs
now?"
you.
He's like, Cheyenne's drunk again.
Wait, that's
Yeah.
him? Seriously?
Yes, that's him.
Shit. There's all kinds of like I'm super excited for the new Jurassic World coming out, Rebirth. They're
They're completely restarting too.
It looks a little weird with the
They're
D-Rex.
restarting.
I mean, with new cast.
Yeah.
There's no returning cast.
That's because Chris Pratt was like, no.
I think
No,
the
he had
funniest-
enough after dealing with Blue for 3 movies.
I think the funniest is not. It might have been the most recent Jurassic Park when we.
Hey, though, Scarlett Johansson does look hot in that movie.
Yeah, when
Look.
we watched the newer one, when the island is, melting because of lava,
Yeah.
and the Brontosaurus, you just see him go in the air and the lava. We watched it with the Nugget when he was little because it had just come out. He cried for about 20 minutes. And I
Yeah.
mean, just sobbing the entire time. And he was like, "Did
Have
he
you ever had him-
die?"
Have you ever had him watch The Land Before Time?
No, because I
Oh
refuse
God!
to watch.
Do not
I
let him watch that.
refuse to watch The
He-
Land Before
He
Time.
Dom would look at The Land Before Time and be like, what the fuck is this?
I did traumatize him with The Lion King.
What
Did do
about Old
that.
Yeller?
Did not do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But the
I
funniest
did
thing
my
about
niece.
the funniest thing about when we watched Jurassic Park and he was crying his eyes out, my dad turned and looked at me and said, "Yeah, he's your son." Because I was the kid, we would be watching a movie, and in movies, especially with horses, like the horses fall or they're dying, like it's a war movie, I would get so upset about the horses in the movie. And my dad's like, "They're fine. They're trained horses. It's okay." I would be so upset about the horses. But then we
And-
would watch ER and I would be like,
You'll appreciate
All the
this.
blood and
Then.
gore and all that stuff. You're
yeah.
just like,
I watched Straight to Hell with my niece, which is a Sam Raimi movie,
Oh.
horror movie.
Oh God.
She was doing fine. She was all like, "Yeah, this is awesome." She murdered the cat to try to remove the curse. She hit the stop button and walked out of the room on me. I was like, "Where you going?"
Listen.
I knew exactly where that was going.
I hate to give credit where credit is. Actually, I love to give credit where credit is due. Fluffy said it best, and I watched that when Twisters came out last year, and we went. Me and the wife went to go see it.
You went gay.
And I'm man enough to admit it. As
He's
Gabriel
hot.
Iglesias said, I went gay for 5 seconds.
He's hot, and the song.
When he walks out the house chasing after her in a white t-shirt and a black cowboy hat in the pouring rain, soaked from head to toe, I was like,
Goblin and
half a second, I was gay as shit.
Goblin and I were watching that
Fluffy's
movie.
my favorite stand-up comedian.
I'm drooling, and I just turn to him and go, "I'm sorry."
I literally just went, "No, I get it."
No, it's fine.
Yeah, like no, I understand.
Like I mean, look, every guy in America is like,
listen, if an example to add to what you're saying, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Ryan Reynolds in general.
No.
Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman, who are you, you uncultured swine?
Listen, no. Listen, Hugh Jackman, when the suit explodes.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
At that moment, I went, "What the fuck?"
I think you turned and looked at me, and I was just.
And I had already seen it. Or no, because we saw it in the theater. I've seen the movie like 6 or 7 times now. But literally, I'm not bullshitting. I turned and looked at Ducky, and like both of us are like, "Oh my god!" We turn back and look at the screen, and it's Ryan Reynolds leaning around him, going,
"Yeah." Like, look, Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, Glenn Powell. Fuck, I'll say it.
Christian Bale.
God. When he did Batman?
Yes.
Oh my, like, talk about ripped.
What's his face? Superman with The Witcher. Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill in The Witcher is way more than Superman.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Hell,
that's a whole nother level.
I'm gonna say it. This is where I was going. I'm gonna say it. Y'all can get mad at me if you want to, but I'm gonna say it. Channing Tatum.
Yes. Always. I would like to add to that list. So
come on, bro. If you've watched any of the Magic Mikes, even for just a second.
No. What I was gonna say is there are certain points where Channing Tatum, yes.
Yeah.
And then there are certain points where Channing Tatum, maybe.
Well,
Gambit,
I mean,
definitely.
Everybody else on that
Gambit.
list.
You gotta count Gambit.
It's just the face, the accent, the whole aura.
So
who should dialect coach the Minions?
So what's funny about that is he's actually like spent part of his life on the bayou in Louisiana.
He's from Louisiana, yeah.
So he like grew up down, so that was all natural for him.
Yeah.
And like he even talked about that he wanted to bring real Louisiana culture into Gambit.
And what I hate is the fact that he had pitched that movie Gambit for so many years.
Yes.
He pitched that character and nobody wanted. Fox said, "No, we're not doing it."
It was so funny in Deadpool
when he Disney now.
Are they doing a Gambit?
Remember who you were, or who you could have been.
Not to.
Did you not see who's in the cast list of
Doomsday?
I have
pretty sure he's in the cast list for Doomsday. If not, he more than likely is going to be an Endgame.
You see Netflix making a new Harold and Kumar.
Pedro
I want to
Pascal.
say
Wait, pause.
Mr. Fantastic. He's in the new Fantastic Four.
I saw that. He's not in there. Oh, he is in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah,
in there.
he's in there. So let me, because I'm gonna forget if I don't talk about it right now. So I saw a TikTok, and I knew this when I saw this TikTok, but it still flabbers my gas when I think about it. So Fast and Furious 2, right?
Right.
Sorry,
Too
the
fast,
mental
too
image,
furious.
instant mental image of flabbers my gas.
That's
Very-
I've heard it put that way.
So Fast and Furious 2, Too Fast, Too Furious, right? The guy, I can't think of his name.
There's a lot of guys in that movie.
I'm fully
Roman
aware.
Pierce?
Not Roman Pierce. The bad guy, the main bad guy.
Oh, that's the dude from Yellowstone.
Carter. No. Yes, Carter. Yes.
Yeah, Carter.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's in
I-
Yellowstone. He's also the cop in Riddick.
I did not recognize him in
Wait,
Yellowstone.
are you talking about Tombs? That was Tombs?
No, not Tombs. Before
No, the main
before
guy.
Pitch Black,
Gotcha.
the original Riddick.
Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah.
That all makes sense because I knew that watching Riddick. I knew that was him. I did not know that
He's in Yellowstone.
I didn't know that he was in Yellowstone. I didn't know he was Rip. And I was sitting here one day talking about how Rip. And Goblin goes, you know that's what's his face from Too Fast, Too Furious. I'm like, who? And he tells me, I was like, holy shit.
Look, the epitome of any relationship is literally when he walks out the barn and Beth is standing there and he goes, I ain't got time for your shit today.
That's Goblin every other day. But
Listen,
also,
But her response is just as fair.
my
Fuck
favorite.
you. I love you. I'll see you at home, but fuck you.
my favorite, and I don't watch Yellowstone like that. The most I have from Yellowstone is just TikTok clips. Is after she calls him and tells him that her dad is dead.
Mhm.
Right? She doesn't cry. She just says he's dead. He's like, I'm on my fucking way.
Yep.
He gets there. She immediately runs out and just completely disintegrates into him because she knew, and the two of them have great chemistry. They're great characters from what I have seen, from what I've heard. He was her home, and she had to be strong for everybody else until he was there to be there for her. And I told Goblin one time, I said, not if, but when my dad's mom passes, I'm gonna need you to be the one to figure it the fuck out. Because I will not be functioning in the slightest.
Well, and it's like I can't remember if she gets. I feel like I'm trying to remember if Beth gets kidnapped. I feel like she gets kidnapped.
I don't know. I've
or
never seen
or
this.
somebody breaks in, and Rip goes fucking apeshit.
I think it was somebody broke in.
I think
She
somebody
broke into her brother's apartment to kill him, or to say, because he had their dad killed, her adopted brother, and so he's beating the crap out of her, and Rip finally gets there, and they take him to the train station.
Yeah.
Yep.
So now the one that I really enjoyed is a Yellowstone. It's part of the Yellowstone storyline.
1883,
And what is it?
1928,
Yeah,
23.
23.
1923.
But
I don't like Harrison Ford.
in 1883, I never thought that I would like Tim McGraw as an actor,
Right?
but
Very good.
him and Faith Hill, amazing. Amazing.
It deserved a second season.
Yeah.
Like absolutely love them in 1883.
Who here has seen The Iron Giant?
I have.
Yes.
That's
Who
Vin Diesel.
hasn't seen it? Is
Yeah.
it really? Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
Iron,
Vin Diesel.
the Iron Giant of Vin Diesel.
Before
He
he
went
was
from
famous.
he went from that to
Look,
Actually, Ducky
Look,
can pull us up.
he did do great.
He started out Street Shark commercials in the 90s because he was such a big nerd. As an
Listen,
adult still. The old Toy
I
Street Sharks.
I don't care what anybody says about Vin Diesel. My all-time, he was great in Fast and the Furious, in that whole franchise, still is. But my all-time favorite movies were either the Riddick series
Mhm.
or The Last Witch Hunter.
I was hoping you were going to
That
say
was a good-
Saving Private Ryan.
I thought you were gonna say Triple X, which is not a pornographic. Point that out.
I
I love Saving
remember.
Private Ryan.
Look, there's
listen,
only one part of Triple X that I really liked, and that was the whole Rammstein scene. Like,
listen,
I mean, when they're in the
there's
club and they've got the flamethrowers on their face.
there's a lot of there's a lot of Triple X that was good, but I remember going to school
And talking about it, and everyone thought you were
And
talking about
talking-
porn. Yeah, same.
talking about it, and my teacher being like,
That's inappropriate.
"You watched what? Don't talk about that in my class. Do you want to go to the principal?" I was like, "No, it's a real movie. Like, it was motorcycles and stuff."
Yep.
I was like, I watched it with my dad.
Yep.
And she's like, "You watched what with your dad?" She goes on the computer, looks it up, is like, "Oh, Vin Diesel's in it?"
Yeah.
Like, Vin Diesel.
I told
Yeah.
Goblin this, but Reaper, his GTO, and that's a diesel. A factory diesel GTO.
There was a factory diesel GTO.
And that's
I
what
didn't
it is.
know. He told me that. I looked it up.
If you look at the
I-
side pipes,
yeah.
it even has the hold covers over it like a stack on a truck would.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna got me googling it now.
Yeah. We are at an hour 33, by the way.
Well,
We can keep going,
Well,
and
here-
I can make bonus content. I was just putting that out there.
What? What?
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
That was a
Well-
six. That was a 66, wasn't it?
no, 66 or 67, I think.
I thought it was a 67 GTO.
Well, I'll loop us all the way back for one more subject on the main subject that we're 50 exits from. But
50 exits and 2 states away.
one more. Curious George, tail or no tail?
Tail.
Definitely
Tail for
tail.
me.
Definitely had a tail.
You don't have a tail.
100%.
He doesn't have a tail. I know.
100%. He
He-
had a tail.
he
100%.
Right.
You're full of shit.
Definitely had a
He
tail.
I
had a
remember
tail.
the tail.
I fully believe
I remember him
that.
swinging the tail.
Yes, I
Mhm.
fully believe that Mandela
and
effects
picking up the
are.
yellow man's hat.
I fully believe Mandela effects are just people gaslighting other people. Truly.
It's okay. Here's one to add to that. Have you guys heard of the movie Togo?
No.
Disney movie, right?
Mhm.
Did you know you can't get it anywhere? Can't watch it.
What was it?
Togo. It's the
Togo.
real story of Balto.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah, it's a
Togo,
good movie.
Togo is the real dog, and it had Willem Dafoe in it. Disney removed it from the internet.
That was a good movie. I'm a big Willem Dafoe fan.
Yeah,
Who needs to be cast as the Joker, in my opinion, but still.
I figured we hadn't talked about the fat electrician yet today, so I had to bring him up because he did a whole video on it. Go watch. It looks like a really good movie. You can't watch it.
That's like, has to.
It really
The cartoon
is.
was good too.
Togo,
Balto,
the
Kevin
Disney
Bacon.
Plus original movie, is no longer available on Disney Plus or other streaming platforms in the U.S. The movie was removed by Disney from Disney Plus as a part of a larger content purge by Disney. While you might find clips or trailers on YouTube, the full movie is not legally available for streaming in the U.S. currently.
Yeah, and
So-
I remember seeing it
It was
on Disney Plus, and was like, "Oh, I want to watch that," and then never did because there's a million other things that we watch.
Mhm.
And then I see him post a video about Disney removed his favorite movie, and they did. You can't watch it. Can't buy it on Amazon. Can't buy it on Apple. You can't buy it anywhere.
I can't imagine why they did that.
They just
Well,
it
could be
wasn't
copyright.
it wasn't doing well. It's not copyright. Disney just it wasn't doing well,
I know
and they removed a bunch of stuff. They removed a
And
lot of stuff.
They did remove
the
a lot of
movie
stuff.
Cocoon from the 80s, Steve Gutenberg. You cannot get it unless you want to pay out the butt for it, because they have not released it in so many years on DVD because of a whole bunch of copyrights on different stuff in the movie. It's in limbo.
I'm still trying to
So-
figure out where you guys saw that this car was diesel, because the one that sold at auction had a 400 cubic inch V8 with a
That's
3-speed
probably a
automatic
stunt car.
transmission.
Okay, so I have a question. And Hank, you're a
Yeah.
movie guy, so you've probably seen it. So my mom worked for a cardiologist and had this really old guy that was super sweet. Like, he would go to the thrift store and buy all kinds of shit. Like, he gave me my first Xbox, like the original Xbox.
Right?
He would bring her a bunch of bootleg movies. And he brought her this one time a whole bunch of movies. And there was one movie in there that I was obsessed with. DOA, Dead or Alive.
I have it.
Have you
On DVD.
have you seen it? Either one of you two?
What is it?
I have it.
DOA, Dead or Alive.
I don't think so.
Goblin.
I feel like I watched it, but I can't. It's probably been forever. I have no idea.
It was released in 2006. The world's best fighters are invited to DOA, an invitational martial arts concert where there are 4 female rival fighters will have to work together to uncover the secrets that the organizer of the tournament is trying to hide. One of the people that's in it, I didn't know at the time, but I know now, Jamie Presley.
I haven't seen it in a while. She was in it?
She was in it. And you'll know her from My Name is Earl, Joy
Yeah.
Turner.
Yeah.
She was in that movie as one of the fighters. I loved that movie. And I can't find it anywhere.
Well, I can. If you edit this out, I can make a copy for you.
It looks like it's available on Tubi, Pluto TV, Fandango
There
at
you go.
Home, Plex. Oh, Amazon Prime.
Tubi's free. Plex is
Free.
It's
Is it
either
free?
Freevee or Tubi that's owned by Amazon.
there's
free.
there's one that I have on my phone that my brother got me hooked on, and it's literally just an app. It's called Cinema HD.
Mhm.
They literally have everything.
Steve
TV
Togo's
series,
on there.
movies. I'm about to. Now you got me watching.
But yeah, that movie was such a strange movie, but it was so good. It was so good.
I
think
Which
one
can't
of my
remember.
let's see. There's one from 10/5/2022, and there's one from 12/20/2019. The one from
2019.
the one from 2019. It's on there.
Nice.
What movie is that?
Togo.
Togo.
My favorite
Like
movie cameo,
I could literally sit here and watch it if I wanted to.
not counting Bill Murray in Zombieland, that's number one, no hands down, is Matt Damon in Eurotrip. Scotty doesn't know that Fiona and me.
God, that's another
That's-
song from our generation.
that's
that
like
this movie
the-
kicked ass.
Bro, I pulled into
that's
the I pulled into the parking garage at work one day, blasting that song. And as
You
you
gotta
know, my
jam that song.
my
You
truck-
blasted
my
that
truck's-
song in the Nuggets parking lot of the school. We were waiting for him to come back from camp.
I did.
Listen, my Silverado is stock, and it's got a kick-ass sound system. So I can imagine that yours is pretty much on the same tier, being the same year as mine. What
It's
year's yours?
not. I get tinnitus in
I
that
have
truck.
I have a full custom system in that truck.
Oh well, mine's
Every
not.
Mine-
speaker has been upgraded.
Mine is
I haven't
stock.
done
That
any of
sounds
that yet.
awesome.
There's
Mine 98.
two amps and two tens under the back seat.
Now, my dad's 2015 Ram that he bought.
Yeah, you were telling me that's got my dad's 2023 Duramax
That came
that he's
with
got.
a 1500-watt amp and two 10-inch subs built into the under the seat in the back.
There you go.
His is the same. His is full Bose. It's got subs in it.
I don't think this was
But-
Bose. This was something else.
Well,
but-
my dad, like I was saying, my dad's got the GMC with the Duramax in it.
yeah,
And that's GM uses Bose. But his is incredible.
Generic
But-
Chevy.
Before we go off on another tangent, Hank, you want to wrap us up?
All right, everybody. Hope you've enjoyed this week. If you did and want more of the zany craziness, please like and subscribe and hit that notification button. And for our next host,
Zany
You see.
craziness? Hold on, pause.
what? You don't like that?
Zany craziness. That is such a you
It was a choice.
word.
I like it though.
Hey.
I wonder how long it's going to take people to notice, and that's all I'm going to say. And if any of you say anything about it, I'm going to kick all of your asses.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
Good.
I was looking something up.
Oh, it had nothing to do with what he said. It's just a thing Hank and I discussed in a
I know
side
what they're talking
conversation.
about, but I'm not supposed to know because I was editing and they thought I wasn't listening, but I was.
Hey,
Anyway,
you know who owes us a full episode?
Who?
Goblin. Because of the mess up, he got a get out of jail free card on that episode. So Goblin, tag, you're it.
Nice.
We're talking about guns for an hour and a half.
Fucking damn it.
That's all we're talking about.
Let's fucking do it.
No.
Let's fucking do it.
No.
Hey,
Let's go.
I can show my shotgun this time.
No. No
Let's
guns.
go.
Come on.
My
I actually
32
want to
plates.
participate in a conversation. And if you talk about guns all day, I'm literally going to just sit here and disassociate.
That's a-okay. You
Nah,
you
look,
would have
I've
you would
actually-
have fun.
I've got a few ideas that I'm going to 100% steal from Distractable.
Okay. Can we get a
But
tasty tidbit?
I
tasty
say-
tidbit,
Mhm.
I kind of want to see if how you guys would do with, like, they have a game that they call Nah I'd Win. And it's basically I'll come up with random scenarios and you have one move. And to do this, I'm gonna have to find like a die, like a 20-sided die. I'll probably just order one or something like that. But basically, you have a move, and if you don't succeed, the next person has to repeat what you said and then add to it.
Oh, shit.
Oh yes. And you just go until somebody succeeds, and whoever succeeds gets the point.
So it's kind of like telephone meets
D&D.
chess or D&D.
Meets a little bit of D&D. Yeah, I mean, it was really interesting, and I kind of thought it would be fun. It's one of the many quirky little games that they do, and I thought it'd be interesting. And 100% I will give them credit for it because it is their idea and they have done it 4 times. So
Very nice. Okay, I'm on board.
I don't know
So,
if you've heard of this game, but it's something you guys can mess with the nugget with. Have you ever heard of After Black?
Mm-mm.
Okay, that's where you two tell him you're psychic.
Oh,
you have him whisper in your ear something, so only you know. Then you just start naming stuff, and Goblin's got to go yes or no, and he just keeps saying no to it until you say something that's black. And so the very next item, you say what the Nugget said it was, and he'll go, "Is it this?" And he Goblin to go, "Yes."
there's also another one that you write on a piece of paper, like you ask them questions, and it's like, what's your favorite animal? Or pick an animal. And like it's 4 questions, and you write it all on a piece of paper, and at the end of it you go through it again, but like, so you start off and it's an arrow. You draw an arrow on the piece of paper, right?
Right.
You fold it up and you say, so the question is, pick an animal. Think of an animal. You got it? Yeah. So then you do the arrow. You fold up the piece of paper and you place it down. You grab your paper and you say, okay, think of something else. And what you write is the animal they just told you, right? You fold that up and you put it down. Then you ask them another question and you write down the answer from the previous question. The last question is up, down, left, right, right? That's it. Up, down, left, right. Then what you do is you grab the papers and you go, okay, so I asked you, what was your animal? What did you pick? A giraffe. And you show them that you wrote the word giraffe. And it blows kids' minds because they think you're freaking psychic. When in actuality, you're just playing them.
Right.
Yeah. Well, all right. That should be exciting. And be sure to do all the things. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Later, guys.
I
Later.